Hey everybody, welcome back again. And today I'm looking at another new figure that I got just a little bit on a whim, but I figured since I've already looked at another figure in the series of these, I'd go ahead and give this one a shot as well. And that is the Studio Series Transformers the Movie Constructicon Scrapper. And this is actually the first figure that came out in the series of Constructicons that are going to eventually form the Devastator Combiner figure, and figured I'd go ahead and give it a look. I did not give a very flattering review of the Bone Crusher figure, which was actually just released and just started appearing on shelves. Figured I'd give this one a shot as well. Now, first impressions of this figure, just looking at it in the box, it is a nice looking figure. One thing I will say, this one, unlike Bone Crusher, is sold as a Voyager class figure. It is clearly not a Voyager class figure size. It's not much different in size from the Bone Crusher figure, but we're going to see, I guess, a little bit more detail as I get into this one. I've purposely not watched any reviews for this figure. I know there have been a lot of unboxings, a lot of reviews for this figure, but I've purposely not watched those in order to kind of give myself a clean slate when I took a look at this figure. But that is my first impression just looking at it through the box, having not opened it or held it or handled this toy or anything, is that it is definitely not, at least in my opinion, a Voyager class figure in terms of size and complexity. But unfortunately, it is that price point. So looking at the figure, of course, we've got the typical box art, really nice box art of Scrapper there. On the side, we've got another little bit of box art. On the side, we've got a picture of Devastator. On the back, we've got some product shots and then a shot from the '86 movie as well. And just a pretty run-of-the-mill box for this guy. So let's go ahead and get him open and see what we've got. So looking at the figure, we've got the requisite instructions, the little fold-out background, and he is, like all other figures, rubber banded in. And then we've got our tissue paper wrapped accessories that come with the figure. And in the tissue paper, we have 3 items. So we've got Scrapper's main weapon, so a nice looking gun. And then we've got the 2 pieces to Devastator's large gun in combined mode. So he comes in 2 different pieces. I would imagine that Scrapper, these will fit in his hands. Yeah, so they'll fit in his hands and then combine to be the larger gun. So the handle on this is really short. I'm not sure what to expect from the final hand that we get of Devastator in combined mode, but you can see it's pretty short there. And then looking at the figure itself, so Hasbro did a little gotcha there by expanding his loading bucket to make it look like a bigger figure, but in reality, he's really not. It was just folded straight up. But let's take a look at the figure size here real quick. So this is the Scrapper figure, and I'm going to pull into the side here the Bone Crusher figure. So as you can see, these figures are essentially the same size. Bone Crusher actually looks to be just a hair taller when you just look at their heads. But yeah, Again, this is a deluxe figure at $24.99. This is a Voyager figure at $34.99, I think is the retail price on these. So definitely a huge disappointment there in this figure. So let's go ahead and look at his articulation. So again, and before we get to that, I will say again, they hit it out of the park here with the head sculpt. And I said this with the Bone Crusher figure as well, that the head sculpt here looks like it was done by a totally different team than the rest of the figure. That head and the face right there are really, really nice looking. Best part of the figure, I think, so far. But let's look at his articulations. So we've got shoulders out. We can get the arms all the way around on both sides. The head all the way around. He can look up a little bit, look down maybe just a hair, not a whole lot. We get bend at the elbow. We get bicep swivel. We get no waist swivel. So I think this is another disappointment for me on this figure. So at a Voyager class price point, there is no waist swivel whatsoever. There's tilt here, which I would imagine is for ankle tilt in combined mode, but no waist swivel. So let's think about that for a second. So far we're two figures for two figures here in this series of Devastator combiners that have no waist swivel, and to me that is sinful for both of these figures, especially for a $35 Voyager class figure to not have waist swivel. I cannot believe that it was not possible to engineer waist swivel as well as the ankle tilt in combined mode in the same area of this figure. But again, it is what it is at this point. Going a little bit further so we can get the leg all the way out. Goes forward a little bit, backwards a little bit. We get bend at the knee. We get thigh rotation, and we get ankle tilt. So pretty much standard articulation as far as the limbs go, with the exception of the waist swivel. Hands, we don't get any wrist swivel that folds in. I would imagine that's part of the transformation. But yeah, there he is. I'm going to say he's a nice looking figure. I like the colors on it, but the quality here and the way that it's been engineered is really disappointing. Again, I go back to, for being a $35 figure. Even with these added accessories, the gun and the Devastator combined mode gun, this should have been a deluxe price point. But let's see if we can get this guy transformed and take a look at the alt mode. All right, so I think we've got him correctly transformed. So this is what he looks like in alt mode. Again, he looks just about as good as the Bone Crusher figure did in alt mode. It's okay. It's nothing spectacular. Obviously, I don't think they're going to look for the kill in the alt modes here for these figures. But it is what it is. They're actually not. It doesn't seem a whole lot bigger than the original G1 toy from 40 years ago was. Um, but yeah, there's what he looks like. The wheels spin. The front wheels larger than the rear wheels. The front loading bucket, we get some up here and up at the base. So when it's like this, we don't get quite. We actually do get a little bit. So it looks like maybe this pegs down in here to get a little bit more articulation out of that bucket. So there we go. There's what he looks like. Again, nothing spectacular. I have to say I'm fairly disappointed in this figure, although I will say he looks much better in bot mode. Um, but I'm not quite as disappointed as I was in the Bone Crusher figure. Still looking forward maybe to seeing what they're going to do with the rest of these figures, but given what they've done with this and this being a Voyager, I don't have a whole lot of high expectations out of the remaining figure. Um, we can imagine that Mixmaster probably won't be much different than this. Um, and when we take a look at the long haul and hook figures that are going to come together, packaged as in the Commander class price point, I would imagine those are going to be 2 Voyager class figures as well. So don't know what to expect out of those. But there he is. This is Scrapper. Uh, Again, you know, if you like Devastator, if you like the Constructicons, you know, get these figures. Um, but you're going to be hard pressed to get a high recommendation of these from me. I'm supremely disappointed in these figures, and I'm really disappointed in what Hasbro has done with this latest iteration. If they were going to put this out, they should have just re-released the Combiner Wars version of the Constructicons and just slightly retooled them, because this is I would dare to say that this is unacceptable. So there we have it. There's the figure. Like I said, if you like it, get it. Otherwise, I'm not going to recommend it. But again, I appreciate you for watching. And if you like this, click that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll continue to do this kind of content. And thanks again for watching.